Hey everybody, welcome back to another New York Comic Con live stream. David here with David. Say hi, David.
Hey, what's up?
AJ. Can't
Hey,
even see
guys.
where my hand went. And Justin, way down there.
Hi.
Hey. Yesterday we had an amazing stream with a ton of engagement from you guys in the comments about ranking all 23 Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Today we're going to give the DCEU its same comeuppance. Luckily, there's only 8 of them. We're starting at Man of Steel and moving forward. Unfortunately, we're not talking about some of the beloved classics like the '89 Tim Burton Batman, which is one of my all-time favorite comic book movies, the Christopher Reeve Superman, anything like that. But before we get into the list, let's real quick talk about what's going on at bluefinbrands.com right now for New York Comic Con. We have a ton of exclusives and bundles and special deals. I got some of the great bundles in front of me right here. We got the Dragon Ball Legends bundle. We have, our May Show. We have, Star Wars and Marvel May Show. We have deals. Star Wars May Show is 2 for $100, and we have a couple really good bargains with the Marvel manga realizations. And if you get a Marvel manga realization, it's going to come with a cool Wolverine T-shirt. Go to bluefinbrands.com for all of that information.
I think I'm wearing it.
Oh,
Hold
what?
Ooh,
Yeah.
show us.
Wasn't even planned. Whoa.
Whoa.
This is a DC podcast. What are you doing? I love it. It's probably very telling of how we rank these films versus the MCU.
Yeah.
But we're also having an amazing contest. We're giving away over $5,000 in prizes, including a grand prize that's going to get over $3,000 in things like figure arts, metal builds, Gunpla, flame model kits. If you love Transformers, you gotta love flame model kits.
Yes.
So much of that awesomeness at bluefinbrands.com/contest. There's a link right on the homepage. But let's jump into this, guys. I think before we start, maybe we can set like a baseline of where we are at the MCU as far as excitement level. So
DC.
Yeah. What
There you go. You
Yeah.
said MCU.
Oh no!
Strike
no,
one.
No. Like ding! It's like I need one of those like Family Feud like.
Yeah.
Sorry, with the DC films, I was a huge fan of the ones that were my childhood, like I mentioned, Batman and stuff like that. I'm very excited for where it's going right now. Can't wait to see like the Batman. But for the 8 we're ranking right now, I may just kind of be like in the middle for most of them. What about you, David?
There's a few gems, and then there's a lot that are not gems.
Listen to you.
They've had struggles. They basically are trying to do what Marvel did, but like without setup, and the movies kind of suffer for that. So,
Right.
All right. What about you, AJ?
There's a couple that I stayed awake throughout the whole time, and there were a couple that I had definitely knocked out, not because of the movie itself, but definitely just because of the time I chose to watch the movie.
Nice. And Justin, what say you?
I'm okay with where we're at. I'm all right with it. I do agree that with Mr. Clark there that Warner Brothers and DC felt like it was much more reactive to Marvel as opposed to being proactive and coming up with their own little formula. But I think they're on the right track now. I definitely like the tonal change that came with like Aquaman and Shazam, which we'll get into later. But yeah, it's all good stuff. I'm okay with it.
Cool. Now this list is going to be the main continuity of the DC expanded universe. I noticed that it does not include Joker, so maybe at the very end we can put Joker on this list. But let's go ahead and just bring this list up. Justin, you have the tier maker thing up right now, and looks like we're going to start hot. Is that Aquaman?
That's what it looks like. Aquaman
Aquaman!
fighting fools underwater because he can.
All right, let's start at the bottom here. AJ, what do you think Aquaman?
I had put Aquaman around the good. I think it's one of the better of the DC movies that have come out. I think it was just fun to watch, and I think that's a big factor for me is that the entertainment value matters a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think real quick about the rankings. Our rankings last time on Tier Maker was S through D. This is slightly different. It's excellent to worst. So on this list, you want to be near the bottom. Think of it like golf scores.
Right. Will it let me
There
change
you
it to be a S? No, it doesn't.
No, it's just this
I
person's
can't.
list.
Oh, what about if I go like this?
Uh-huh.
Can we do this? Can we do like
Whoa.
S rank?
I don't know. Let's see. We're all live, and
And then change it?
I don't know. Let's see what happened.
Hey, look at that. But
Hey.
it's red though, so I gotta.
Now we gotta figure the colors out.
I
While
mean,
Justin does that, we might as well just chat. about the DC films. This is, I think that as someone growing up in an era of very few comic book movies, the fact that there are so many are exciting. Even sometimes feels overwhelming. But I think that even though we may not say some of these movies are like the best movies, and we're not going to put them on a pedestal like others, I think it's fair to say, David, you can back me up if you agree that I'm happy to see pretty much every comic movie that comes out.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I'm glad that it's getting that mainstream appeal, because that just means there's more money going into the art form, and more people are getting inspired to get into comic books, both as a reader and as a creator, which is ultimately will just give us better stories and a more interesting medium going forward. So definitely it's a good thing.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And look at Justin. Look how fast he is. What a pro, Justin. You like our own Vanna White.
Yeah, we have the same body type,
It's the same trainer, right?
Yeah, I think I weighed
tier
3
maker
times.
right here.
Yeah.
Now that you've had all the stressful work of this, Justin, what do you say about Aquaman? AJ gave it an A. What about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with him. AJ is correct, right on the money with an A. James Wan directed this, and he's got some crazy horror movies under his belt, like Saw. Can you just imagine if they would have locked Aquaman, like Jason Momoa, in some room, and they're like, okay, here's the key, goldfish. You just swallowed it. Now cut yourself open with that trident and break yourself free. I think it was a fun little step out of maybe James Wan's kind of comfort zone. Yeah, he's great with action movies, like Furious 7. I think he directed that one too. It just kind of showed that we can have a good time with DC movies, and I think that a lot of the earlier ones, short of Wonder Woman, were just really depressing in a lot of ways, and it's hard to be and find a smile in that universe. And I think Aquaman did a really good job of doing that.
Yeah, and I think that trench scene, I think it really, really showed like what James Wan can do with an enormous budget and scary monsters and stuff like that. So,
right.
For me, Aquaman is an A. I would put it there. The only thing keeping it from an S, I love Momoa. I love like the themes and the tonal shift of Aquaman. I just felt that it needed to kind of pick a lane, and like in one hand it's like this like funny like silly movie where Aquaman jumps into the submarine and like the guitar riff goes like and it's all like just cheeseball and I love it. But then in other moments it tries to be just like super duper like serious. And I think that by towing in both pools it doesn't narratively kind of pull it off. But it's still an A. It's still so much fun. I remember watching this with my kid, and we're just mowing through popcorn, and my kid's just like asking me this question about Aquaman. They're like, "We'll talk later. You're not supposed to talk in a movie theater." But, it was really exciting. So I get an A. What about you, Mr. Clark?
Okay.
He started with okay. We're in trouble.
Damn.
All right. So basically, I had it at I guess what is now the B tier, because it is a movie. Yes, it is legally a film. But it's not a good film. It's good for a DC film. That's a low bar. I feel like because of how bad most of the movies have been, when they did one that was like halfway competent, like we ranked it super high because it's like we were in the desert for so long, and someone's like, "Here's a drink." I mean, like it's like
it's like the best drink ever.
It's like some flat root beer,
sure.
But like it's better than nothing. It was okay. It just it wasn't bad. It just wasn't anything to write home about, so I put it at a B.
They also spent a lot of time not in the water for a maritime-based superhero film.
They do that. It's a fish out of water story.
Literally.
Okay.
Justin, you're going places.
Right.
All right. So is it safe to put it at, we've got 3 A's and a B. Looks like most of the comments are A and B. Should we just leave it an A? It's 3-1.
So real quick, I think that Mr. Clark is very passionate about the DC film universe, and that he can have one veto for this entire podcast. So if you feel that we are just, there's a gross miscarriage of justice that is being applied on this list, then we will let you be the deciding factor. So are you comfortable with our ranking of Aquaman at an A?
I'm gonna keep my veto. Aquaman's not worth using the veto over.
Okay.
All right. Going in hot here. Batman v Superman.
Oh, bro.
This movie came out on my birthday. So that, I'll tell you a really quick story about my experience of Batman v Superman. So, I come from a journalistic background, so I used to, and still for some parts go to regular press screenings. And so because this movie came on my birthday, and I love to go to movies on my birthday, my wife got me, my 2 sons, and her opening day tickets to see this movie. And I saw it about a week early at a press screening, and I did not have the best time at my press screening, and all I could think of is like, oh man, I gotta go see this movie again in a week. It did not improve. For me, Aquaman is a firm Aquaman. Batman v Superman is a firm C. I love Ben Affleck's Batman, and I love Henry Cavill's Superman, but you're gonna find out my feelings on Zack Snyder over the course of this list, and it is a C. For me, Batman v Superman is a C.
You got it. C for Cavender.
C for Cavender. C for Batman v Superman.
Cavender.
You got married. Mazel tov. Let's go reverse order. How about, what do you say, David?
Okay. So yeah, I have it also at a C. It is a very bad adaptation of one of my favorite Batman storylines, the Dark Knight Returns kind of thing. So that was terrible. Doomsday was terrible. The best parts of the movie were the parts of Batman by himself, and then when Wonder Woman shows up. Like, in isolation, those parts were great. Everything else was terrible. Now, I haven't seen the extended version because it was the first version was just too bad. So, C, awful.
All right.
See, awful starts with an A, David.
That's how bad it is.
All right, Justin, what say you?
Yeah, I am with you guys. I actually have it as a C. I do agree that everything with Bruce Wayne and Batman was really, really cool. I think that Ben Affleck knocked it out of the park as Batman. We were talking about him yesterday with Dr. Travis Langley, and he's just so menacing looking. He just looks like he's roided out and a gorilla, which is very akin to the comic book that Mr. Clark is talking about. He had this much larger build, and he was a ruthless Batman. He was a scary Batman. I mean, he's branding people. But I think for me, one of the things that deterred my enjoyment was just Lex Luthor. I didn't like the way that Mark Zuckerberg was playing him, and it was rough. It was hard for me to really enjoy it. But as soon as like the Wonder Woman, George of the Jungle music came on, I was always like amped up. I'm like, yeah, this is great. But for a 2.5-hour movie, it was hard to really make this any higher than a C for me.
Yeah.
All right, AJ.
I am with all three of you. I think C for me is like can't remember. So it has definitely been like I remember scenes and some fights, but not the entirety of it. And like you guys talking about it, it kicks in just a little bit, but enough for me to still believe I still can't remember that movie that well enough. So I'm gonna stick firmly with a C.
There you go. Sure. And it's cool seeing like him driving the Batmobile. He's all driving his chain wheel like this, and he's killing people and throwing giant barrels at everybody, and watching his workout routine where he's trying to get fit to beat Superman, and even just seeing the effects at the beginning when Metropolis is literally under siege and how he's running around and trying to save everyone, and he's just like, man, this guy, I can't stand that GD alien up in the sky. I really like that. I thought that was great.
The thing that didn't make sense is that like Batman, and like in every incarnation, he's always suspicious of Superman because he could, if he decided to just throw the Earth into the sun. But he also observes him and knows that he's at least at this current moment trying to do good. So for me, the whole assumption of him just like, oh, Superman's bad, I'm gonna kill him right now, that didn't seem like Batman. Batman would wait for him to start the turn and then murder him.
Sure.
And I think the chief conceit of the film is flawed in that I understand from a narrative perspective, we have to make it seem like it will actually be a fair fight. And I understand that while Batman is arguably the coolest comic book character to ever be created, I don't think there's ever a scenario where Batman could honestly defeat Superman.
There's
every comic book story they have with it, all of them boil down to Batman and Superman getting a fist fight. If Superman's gonna fight Batman, he's not gonna like go toe to toe with him. He's gonna shoot him from 10 miles away with his heat vision, or he's gonna he's just gonna drop the world on him. He's not gonna go like, hey Batman, pull him up.
Superman always comes down to a fist fight.
Plus in the comics, because they have to make it look kind of fair.
Batman has a plan for everything.
Right.
everything.
If Superman punches him, his head would go flying. He'd make a mess. He'd
But
get blood on his outfit.
that would be part of the plan, I bet you. Watch.
Please
You are
join
crazy.
David's dissertation at 101.
Yeah, his plan would be, I'll just have one of my 8 kids take up my one of my 8 adopted kids take up my my mantle because apparently there's 9 people in the world that could be Batman. Only
Or
one
he'll
person
just
could be Superman.
He'll just go get his baby mama to pop him in the Lazarus pit. All right, he'll come back from the dead, which is what Rachel Gould wants anyway. So there you go. He can functionally be immortal,
And Superman is throws him into space.
Right.
and he'll still be alive.
Yeah, he has his handy dandy astronaut helmet and his utility belt.
Or he'll just get a Green Lantern ring, which he's been offered.
Ah,
Clashes with his.
I'm ready.
Cape.
yeah,
I'm ready.
It doesn't go with the black and yellow aesthetic. The green
Too
flashes. It's really good.
Black and green looks real good.
Uh,
Ask Dawnbreaker Batman.
all right, we got Suicide Squad next. Is that what I'm seeing?
No, it's the Birds of Prey movie.
Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, the emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Fantabulous Harley Quinn.
Ooh, my bad. Fantabulous is not a word I would use for it. I will say that SH Figuarts made an amazing Harley Quinn figure, and that figure is the best thing about this movie. I put it as a C. It's fine. I can't tell if the film's trying to make us like Harley Quinn, feel sympathetic for Harley Quinn, or if we're just along for the ride where we're just supposed to be like, this is fun, she's killing people. But C for me. What about you, AJ?
I'm now going to associate D with did not watch, so it is definitely a D. I have actually not had the chance to watch it, nor I don't think I got the excitement when they showed the trailer. I'm like, that's cool. And then I think with COVID happening and everything, it's like, all right, I missed it right now. It's no biggie. So for me, it's a D because I haven't seen it.
The comments are already rolling in, AJ.
That's fine.
Yeah, and in the comments, make sure you let us know what you would rank these things. If you have a strong opinion, if you think we're just crazy about our rankings, or if you agree with us, we'd love to hear about it. But let's move on to Justin. Justin, I know you saw it.
I did.
What do you rank it?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's a C for me as well. I didn't know what quite to expect, but I think once it kind of settled in and found its place about 20 minutes into it, then I was along for the ride. But at first, I was like, what is happening right now? Because it kind of jumps around a bit. She's telling the story, and she's telling it her way. And once it sort of just found its groove, I was definitely along for the ride.
All right, Mr.
Period.
Period. Exclamation point. David Clark, what say you?
I'm actually going to put it in the D category. It's the only one that I just couldn't go watch. It didn't grab me at all. And I mean, the movie didn't even know what it wanted to be. They changed the title 2-3 times.
Sure.
So I mean, that shows a lack of planning overall. Some of my friends who I trust their opinions, they said it was okay. It was a movie. It was back to form. Back to form with DC being having not great movies. But yeah, I didn't see it, and I don't think many other people saw it either. So
you're right. It definitely was a movie.
I think it was great that they experimented though and stepped out of they pranced outside the box a little bit. So I think that there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm all for them trying different characters, doing different things. I really loved Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. She was the shining light in that film for me. But yeah, when it comes to her in a standalone, I just don't know if a less is more approach to where maybe she's not able to carry a film. To me, it'd be kind of akin if they tried to get Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy to carry a film. I love Drax in the Marvel movies, but he's only on there for 15 seconds at a time. To where in this whole movie, I'd probably be like, ooh. What this Drax movie needs? The Guardians of the Galaxy.
And he's invisible sometimes.
I think Harley Quinn can carry a movie if they, her cartoon series is really good. So if they do something more like that, I think she could definitely carry a movie. They just have to make a good one.
Wow.
Make a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So are we sticking with the C and the D? Did everyone say D but me and I said C?
I only said D because I didn't see it. So.
I said D as well.
All right, we can leave it at D.
Good.
All right. Up next, we got the Justice League.
I feel bad, kind of. I feel dirty. D for dirty.
All right. Up next is the Justice League, the original, the Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon cut of the film. Obviously, no one has seen what will come to HBO Max soon. But so the original Justice League. What is your initial impressions of that film, AJ? I'm assuming you saw this one.
I did see this one. I think the film was fine. I think I had trouble keeping up with some parts of it. I think it was like a mishmash of obviously different people of the stories, and I think that's where the setting up that Marvel does between DC, it suffers in the movie when they have to make it into a movie. So for me, it's a C.
Okay. What about you, Justin?
I'm more in the B camp, to be honest with you. I enjoyed this movie for what it was. Once Superman showed up, I was just crazy in love. Like I think that Henry Cavill kind of just figured out how to be Superman, and just the confidence that he exudes when he shows up at the end of the movie. Like, I'm here to save the day. It's cute that you guys have this little club and all, but I'm really all you need. So why don't you just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll take one for the team. And I love that. And I mean, the visual effects were pretty Zack Snyder-y, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he has a way of making movies that if you just walk into a room and see one frame, you know that it's a Zack Snyder movie. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. I would probably put this at a B. I think it was a pretty big undertaking to get all these people together.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Compared to the tone of Batman v Superman, I think the Justice League was a lot more fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a lot more fun. I would probably stick it in the B category as well. There's a lot of things I think it does right. I love at the end that Superman just devalidates the entirety of the Justice League by just being like, you guys couldn't do anything without me, and now I'm here and everything's fine. And like, even when he comes back, everyone's just like, yes, we're saved. Superman's here. So unfortunately for the Justice League, it kind of proves that how unnecessary some of their members are. But I think it's great. I think parts of it are great, so I give it a B. Yeah, Mr. Clark.
I actually gave it an A. I enjoyed it. I mean, it obviously wasn't perfect. Like the way the Flash runs is pretty trash, and him being like, "Oh, I've never fought before." Okay, whatever, buddy. But I did like it. I liked the fact that they were trying. I really like the one moment where they were like trying to hold Superman back, and like when Flash was running, and Superman's like was keeping up, like looking at him, and Flash was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because that never happened to him before. He was like, "How is this happening right now?" So
he did like the side eye thing.
Yeah. He was like, Superman was like, "Don't try it, dude."
Right.
This is crazy. Granted, Flash is faster than Superman, but that's whatever. But I did like that. I like the fact that in the flashback there was a Green Lantern for 5 seconds, so that was cool. The fact that,
I think he died.
No, yeah, well, because he's not a named character, therefore he doesn't count. but I like the fact that he
got
was
cast aside
because it showed that they weren't afraid to approach the Green Lantern territory again after the other one, and I like the fact that they started talking about Darkseid and everything, and I liked it. It was good, and I generally I just had fun at the movie, so I gave it an A.
And you mentioned Flash having to be faster, man. He ended up being faster. Superman tries to take his head off, but he's able to get around him. So Flash is just a little bit faster than Superman.
A lot bit. He has an infinite mass punch.
Sure.
He can travel back in time.
So
that is an interesting point about the
Mess it
Green
up.
Lantern, because remember the initial poster was Unite the Seven, and then we only have the 6. But then they have that little teaser at the end where a big table and room for more.
Yeah. Snyder cut, please. Green Lantern. Thank you.
There you go.
Just have to wait and see.
I'm ready.
All right. Next up is the movie that kicked off this incarnation of the DC film universe. It is Man of Steel. I think that when the trailers for Man of Steel came out and you had that Hans Zimmer score and you see Henry Cavill, just as like Clark Kent walking around like in regular clothes, I'm like, this is going to be the best Superman movie ever. And I go back and forth a lot with Man of Steel, but I have Man of Steel at a A. I'm sorry, a B. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah. What say you? We'll go with Justin first on this one. I know
Sure.
you love your Henry Cavill.
I do. I'm with you, man. When I saw the trailer, I was blown away. And there were two versions. One with Russell Crowe narrating, one with Kevin Costner narrating, and seeing him fly and have that sonic boom and break the sound barrier. I thought that was so cool. Seeing the little cloud behind him, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so rad!" And then just the I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but like I really liked the way that Michael Shannon did Zod. I thought he was like incredibly menacing and just downright scary when he takes over the TV channels for all the countries and all the world, and just is like, we have one of us is among you, and we journeyed across an ocean of stars to get here. I just love that. It's bone chilling, and I would put Man of Steel at an A. Actually, I would leave Man of Steel at an A.
All right. What about you, Clark?
I actually, despite my hate for Superman, I actually had this at S tier. Because one, if it had totally flopped, we wouldn't have anything else. Two, the effects that they had, it showed that, it was possible to accurately show a DC level fight. Because like Marvel fights are more grounded, but DC fights are very much God tier. I'm gonna chuck a building at you type of fights, and like when he was fighting the other Kryptonians, like with their kind of like flash steps and all the fast stuff they're doing, like it showed that they had a grasp of how they fight and everything. My one gripe with the movie was when that family was just sitting there and Zod had his laser eyes going, and Superman. I'm like, bro, first off, stop, drop, roll, okay? You can just get right under the laser. Second, Superman can sun dip. Why did he just put his hand in front of the eyes? He can hold it in front. He can take the laser eyes long enough for a family of 4 to leave.
I don't think he knew, though. I think he was still understanding what his powers were.
He had just got done being thrown through several buildings. If you don't think you can't hold on to a level of heat for 5, which first off, the laser eyes didn't even destroy the building that it was hitting. If he's stronger than the building, he should just be like.
Maybe it was in the heat of the moment and he was scared, and maybe his laser catching abilities weren't up to snuff.
This is why Batman is better than him. He can't even think of simple solutions like that. He's like, I guess I have to kill him.
Well, the clear answer is that Zack Snyder really wanted to make a Batman movie, but Christopher Nolan had just made 3 great ones, and so they weren't offering him Batman. They offered him Superman. He had to try to find a way to make Superman dark. AJ, what say you about this film?
Oh, I think this movie is great. I think Henry Cavill is a great actor, and I think he fits Superman perfectly, at least to me. I put this in the A tier for myself.
All right, so 3 A's and an S. What sticking in the A?
You were a B.
Oh, I was a B. Oh,
yeah,
well,
a B, 2 A's, and an S.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So I guess
leave
it's
it
going to be an A.
All right.
You want to veto that?
No. No, I don't.
What are you saving your veto for? Suicide Squad?
It
must be some kind of Suicide Squad.
I really like Shazam, so
it is veto. Well, Shazam is next.
Yeah.
So we'll let you kick off Shazam then.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was fun. It was
A for
hilarious.
amazing.
It was heartwarming, and it poked fun at some like superhero tropes, like you're both in the air, really far away from each other. It's like, bro, I can't hear you. Like you're saying words, but you're way too far away. I loved it. Obviously, instead of Black Adam, for get the Rock in there. I just thought it was a good film. I had no problems with it. It was just a fun experience. So S tier.
All right, Justin. Shazam!
Yeah, I actually just saw it for the first time on Monday, and I dug it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And same thing as James Wan, David F. Sandberg. He is also of a horror background. He did like Lights Out and Annabelle. So it's really cool to see people just do something different. And Shazam is 100% a family movie. And I dug it. I thought it was really, really funny. And especially, I was talking about yesterday, it was my palate cleanser after watching The Hills Have Eyes. So anything, a bake-off would have been 1,000 times more exciting and easier for me to watch after watching Homicidal Hillbillies for 2 hours. Definitely dig Shazam. I thought it was a lot of fun. And we get a little Superman teaser at the end.
Sure.
Which was great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so what letter grade you give it?
I would give it an A.
Okay. What about you, AJ?
I think I had mine at an A, but I really enjoyed this movie, so it was at the high A. Was pretty much on the verge of S at this point. I'm fine with the S or A rank. I think everything in this movie was really great. I think the comedic points that they had in there, like when they were trying to test out what powers he had, I think that was like a little great montage. It's just like, all right, let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can't do. I like that because he's a kid in an adult's body kind of thing. Like they tried testing the limits of what else they can get away with as well. So I thought that was really fun. So S and A, I think, it's fine for me.
They lock him in the crate and to see if he's can block fire.
I'm with you guys. I have it as an A, and I just love Zachary Levi. I love what he did with the film. I love when they were finding out his powers, and he realized that he had a certain power, like when he stops the robbery at the convenience store and realizes he's bulletproof. I'm bulletproof! They just get so excited about all the powers and stuff like that. I have an interesting story. When I saw this in Chicago. We were there for a Star Wars Celebration, and the movie theater was in the middle of what is normally like a really crowded area. But I didn't realize that crowded area like closed everything at like 9 o'clock. And when this movie got at 11 o'clock, it was like a full ghost town with no lights. And I'm in Chicago, and it's like 10 degrees. It had been like snowing earlier. And that Uber driver could not have gotten there fast enough. So, movie experience notwithstanding, I say Shazam is an A. So that's 3 A's and an S. So,
well, AJ was.
Yeah, I'm on the cusp of the S and A. Like it could be either or, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I think where I hold my S was till later.
I'm willing to use the veto to ensure he gets an S.
Dang. All right,
cool.
There it goes. Shazam is officially an S.
Shazam!
We don't know if your suit is bulletproof or if your face is bulletproof. Shoot him in the face.
So Clark uses his golden ticket to make Shazam go through as an S ranking. And up next,
your favorite
Suicide Squad. David Ayers.
2 S's.
Suicide Squad. I did not like this film, Sam. I am. For me, it's definitely D category for me. I did not connect with a lot of the characters. I had a very negative reaction to Jared Leto's Joker. Luckily he wasn't in it a ton, but I found a lot of the characters unlikable. Harley Quinn and Will Smith as Deadshot were definitely standouts for me. I loved them both. Even Captain Boomerang, Jai Courtney.
Yeah. I liked him too.
Yeah, I liked him as well. But the rest was seemed like a real big waste. Most of the characters were just there. So D for me, D for David. Go to the other David. What say you?
Yeah, no, it's a D tier. It was objectively bad. The heroes or the villains that they picked for the Suicide Squad, like the premise of the movie was the Suicide Squad was formed in case Superman. So your plan was a girl with a bat, a witch you can't control, a guy who makes fire go boom, and a dude with a boomerang.
And the guy and guns got Deadshot.
Unless he's shooting kryptonite bullets, not one of those people matters. Well, maybe the witch, because magic can bypass Superman's durability, but you can't control her, so that's useless.
She couldn't even control herself. She was like having like this crazy motion thing.
That's the whole movie. It's like it was bad. I like Amanda Waller though. Like Viola Davis did great with Amanda Waller. Like I feel like they had the right actors playing the right characters. Just the movie itself was bad. Mm-hmm. And then like at the end when they had when they had the Diablo whatever the fire guy, he was like, I'm not gonna let another family get hurt, bro. Y'all have literally not talked to each other. You're not a family. You don't know each other. That's so stupid. Katana was cool, but she was definitely way underplayed.
Yeah,
sword can take souls. So it's a D.
It's great you mentioned Viola Davis because of all the characters, the character I'd probably be the most scared about would be Amanda Waller.
She should be.
Yeah,
she's pretty cutthroat.
She's a great actress.
And Viola Davis is just incredible in like just everything. Like so, she could be in every movie for all time, and I would be happy. And just her Amanda Waller was just like. Oh, I'm not gonna. Even when she kind of goes like toe to toe with Batman and the one after credit scene, Suicide Squad, I'm like, Woo, she's gonna be good in this movie.
Yeah.
What say you, Justin? Where do you rank this? I got two D's.
Yeah, I'm with you on a D. I really wanted to enjoy this movie, but it wasn't in the cards. I saw it in theater and saw it with one of my best friends, and we lost track of how many times we just kind of looked at each other like, really? Is this happening right now? And I had really solid trailers. I kind of like the beginning too, like when Batman's rounding everybody up. I thought that was kind of neat. It just kind of took a while to get going, and when it finally did, I just was no longer interested. And it sort of fell into that same umbrella where at the end of the movie, we're all just going to where the sky, it looks like it's falling. And there's always just movies where the villain just has horrible things happening in the sky, and it just means that the world's going to end. And that was another one of those movies. I feel like there was probably like 5 or 6 in a row of just the sky is falling sort of scenarios in these movies, and I think at that point I was over it.
Yeah, faceless enemies, that you can just murder. There was really all the enemies had like blobs over their heads, so you couldn't really tell what you were fighting when you were killing. So
right, I think they were people that they already like killed, like they're kind of reanimating or taking over people's bodies. I don't even really remember, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
Yeah, that was who they were. It was just a matter of, well, we don't want them to look like they're actually killing people, so let's just put bumps on their heads.
Right. Because they're supposed to be heroes at this point, right? Like, it would be weird if they're killing Chuck the security guard when.
I mean, technically they're villains with bombs in their heads, but yeah, heroes.
Right. Not all heroes wear capes, Clark.
Yeah, some have bombs in their heads.
Some have bombs and bats.
See, that should have been the tagline of the movie. That should have been the tagline.
All right, AJ, we got 3 Ds. Are you gonna break the curse?
Kind of, just because I did not watch. Technically, C is like my D, so essentially it's still a D movie. I think even at the same time, like Justin brought it up, like there were similar movies happening with like almost same plot point. Like I think when that movie came out, I think TMNT 2 was like
same thing
happening, same plot. There was like it was like city, something in the sky, a machine, and I'm like, all right, it's the same movie. All right, just one's with turtles.
Yeah.
Would you much rather see the turtles?
Yeah, I'm a big TMNT fan. So for this movie, because my C is my D, I am perfectly fine with it being a D with everyone.
All right, unanimous.
Are you sure? We don't have a B yet. Do you want to bump it all the way up to B?
You put it in B where it belongs.
No, I think this is how the movies are for me.
Okay.
All right. Last.
Keep it a D.
Yeah, D. Okay, last but not least, we got Wonder Woman. I think it's universally accepted to be the best of the DC films.
Yeah.
For me, it definitely is. I think it has a third act problem, but I love the first 2 acts enough to make that one. And that one is I had no S-ranked DC films. It was an A for me. It was my top ranked of all the films. So A for me. Justin.
I really enjoyed this movie. I would actually bump it up to an S. I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed it. I like the music. I like the cast. The sort of ragtag Bad News Bears soldiers that go across enemy lines. Just the part where she gets to the wasteland and goes on to just show the world why Wonder Woman is absolutely amazing. That whole scene was so badass. Loved it so freaking much, and it just kind of gave you that sense of hope. And I agree with you that the third act was a little weird, especially seeing Lupin's little mustache through his helmet when he became like super bad guy. I was like, okay, whatever, Stash, whatever you say. But it kind of had that sort of the red herring of who the bad guy really was. And but the one creep and standout was the lady that had the crazy mask. She was like that Nazi villainy lady. I forget her name, but she was horrifying, and I did not like looking at that lady, and it just stressed me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. She was GROSS.
All right, AJ. Got an A, we got an S. What say you?
I had this at an S. I think at the time of its release, like there were so many there were a lot of friends, like female friends on like my Facebook who had seen the movie and they loved it. And I love that the movie has like this women empowerment kind of feel for it. And for some of my relatives, they're not really into this whole comic book scene. So when they go see it and they're like, "Oh, I enjoyed it," like that makes me feel good, thinking like, "Hey, this movie is good. You should go watch other movies now too. Like, you can't not watch it now that you've seen this. So for me, the movie overall was definitely fantastic. It's an S for me.
Sweet.
All right, C-Lark, what do you got?
I also had an S because it proved that you could do a female main character superhero movie that people would go watch and love, and not just females, but everybody would go and love it. I like that. Like they didn't have the angle where, oh, I'm better than you because I'm a woman. Like, no, she's better than you because she's trained longer with some weapons than you've been alive. So like I like that. It showed off her skills. Showed that she could be a leader. Like at the wasteland part, there's that one scene where she has her shield up and she's blocking the Gatling gun. Like that scene was dope. I love that. I love her little team. How like they helped. Like, hey guys, we were here too. So
right.
but like that's realistic. Like you're fighting alongside of God. Like be glad that she let you help at all. I like Steve Trevor. I thought that was cool. I'm glad he's coming back with the next one. I like their chemistry together. But yeah, I thought it was just really good, and it was a very solid movie. Like definitely, and it's far and away the best out of all of DC movies. Like that was a movie that gave me hope that they could pull off good movies. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
Dr. Maru was her name, the creepy lady.
Yeah, she's weird.
All right, so we going S for Wonder Woman?
Oh, yeah,
S is the name. All right, I can live with that. If you want, S is fine. So I mean, I think we were pretty fair to the DC EU. I mean, it's not we have no B's, but we have more good than bad. I think that's important.
There's no middle ground with DC. It's either super sucks or it's like it's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, there's really three big DC movies. Assuming there was no pandemic, that are pretty far along in development that are going to be released soon. We have the Batman, we have Suicide Squad 2, and we have Wonder Woman 1984. David, is there one? Which of those three are you most excited about, and are you pretty excited with the direction of the DC cinematic universe going forward?
Yeah, so I'm happy with how they're going forward. I feel like they finally found their footing and stuff. I'm most excited right now for Wonder Woman 1984, just because like they've already proven that they figured it out. So I know that when I spend my money on the movie, that it's going to be a good experience. And just looking at the trailers of her and Steve Trevor, like how he thought the trash can was art in the trailer. I thought that was great. They're bringing in some more of her villains. I like the armor at the end of the trailer, and I feel like they're just building off of success. So this one's also going to be good. In that same note, though, I think Suicide Squad is going to be good because friend of Kamen Rider James Gunn is directing it. So I believe in him and all he can do. So
read all about it on comicbook.com.
Exactly.
There you go.
What about you, Justin? Which of those three films are you most excited about?
I'd probably say Batman. I think that my expectations are already high for Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad. So I think the one that I'm most excited for is the one I don't really know a whole lot about. That trailer that we got during DC Fandom, a little bit of peek came out. I was pretty excited about that. Like the whole bone crunching thing where he's like, I'm vengeance or whatever. And it's just, that was intense. And so I'm ready for it. I do think it's interesting with Wonder Woman that Kristen Wiig goes full cheetah. I wasn't prepared for that.
Never go full cheetah.
Yeah.
Never go full cheetah.
So that should be a fun treat. I'm curious to see how that impacts her body going forward.
Nice. All right, AJ, do one of those three movies stand out to you?
Yeah, I'm actually with Justin on this one. I think the Batman looks really great, and I'm pretty excited for it. I think like the noir aspect that they do as Batman is a pretty good detective. It looks really interesting. I think, and it's only been like that whole trailer was like filmed for just like a segment of the movie. So for them to pull that off, it looks really amazing.
I mean,
no doubt.
Show your respect. He's the world's greatest detective. It says on the comic books.
Yeah, and his business card.
And his business card, yeah.
Batman,
world's greatest detective. And he gives the bat phone number.
And so, like the other two movies, like I'm still gonna watch them, and I'm gonna get excited. Like David said too, that James Gunn's directing Suicide Squad. I love his work, so no doubt on any of them. Same with Wonder Woman. I think even like her SH figure looks really great too.
Yeah, that's an incredible
Yeah.
looking figure. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, even when we posted it on social media, everyone's like, that's a pretty good looking Wonder Woman. They got that one figured out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She had to lay her face in all the plastic, and then they made it work.
Like,
Yeah,
like
Man's
DC
Chinese
knows.
theater.
Like DC knows. Hey, look, she's the only one that's working, guys. Just give her all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine with me.
For me, I'm most excited about Suicide Squad 2. DC fandom really, really turned me around on it. Just seeing it looked like everyone there was having the time of their life, and John Cena is one of the best human beings in the world, and I'll always support him. But
Who?
it looks,
Yeah, right.
And he just looks like he's just all in. Idris Elba was just all in, and he's just this refined person. Peter Capaldi, all of these real A-list people are just like having so much fun with this, and James Gunn seems to really know how to put together a cast, and I can't wait to see what they give us, and knowing that they've already kind of greenlit a solo series for John Cena's character makes me even more excited that obviously they've seen something in this character, and I cannot wait. So I will obviously see the other two. I'm also really excited for the other two, but I guess I'm on the other side of you, Clark. I don't really like the golden armor, and I definitely don't like the full cheetah. I know I've only seen like a second of it, and maybe when we see the whole product, it'll be different.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm like, I don't know about all that.
You just gotta think about this. She's the only one with a track record of success going into her sequel.
No.
She hasn't failed yet.
That means the other ones are due.
Is
let's
Patty
see.
Jenkins going to do a 3 as well? Do we know the
she
answer
was
to
going
that?
to finish at 3.
Okay.
Look, they need her to do a 3. And as
Assuming
many
she has
other
success.
films she's willing to do.
Yeah.
They need her on that wall.
Sure. And James Wan was saying that he wants Aquaman 2 to be much more scarier.
Yeah, he wants to do a trench standalone film, like a film just that takes place in that trench.
And they're just like, gargle, 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 we're angry fish people. We're going to be
A lot of
scary.
blacks, a lot of reds.
Yeah.
He compared it to he wanted to make like his version of Jaws.
Oh, there you
And,
go.
So it wouldn't have superheroes. It wouldn't have Aquaman. It would probably just be some poor sap who's wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
They should do Aqualad then.
Oh,
Yeah. A young version of him before he had full mastery of his powers. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
You like Aqualad?
No.
From Young Justice Aqualad? You don't like him?
No, I don't do that.
Did you watch Young Justice?
I don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
we got an Aquaman. Do we need an Aqualad? Does an Aqualad
Yes.
make Aquaman less special?
I mean, Aquaman already wasn't. I mean,
Are you nuts?
He talks to fish.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know
And
what kind of fish there are? Great white sharks.
Yeah, he rides
And-
those.
And he
You
talks
go-
to like
you go to-
mammals.
You go to any bar, they got a mechanical great white shark, and not,
yeah, but there's
and not
so
no
many
bull.
heroes that can solo Aquaman and the ocean together.
I
Like-
think you're crazy.
Teen
I mean,
Titans Go.
And by play so many, you mean Superman, and that's it.
Like Superman, most magic people who throw plastic into the ocean.
Oh yeah, can you imagine?
We've been owning them for years.
The movie's
Aquaman
just-
comes up with like a 6-pack of soda plastic around his
I
throat.
can't get it off, bro. You
That's-
have fingers.
That's the opening Aquaman 2. It's just some dude with like the little rings from like a 6-pack Coke drops in the ocean. He's like, "Your move, Aquaman."
That'd be terrible.
Uh,
No.
Well, I think these rankings are great. I really appreciate you guys coming and playing with us, and everyone who's at home watching. Definitely share your list with us. Are we right? Are we wrong? Are we just so crazy it's not even funny? At least let us know what your favorite film in the DCEU is. If it's Wonder Woman, if it's Suicide Squad. There's no judgment here.
No shame in that. It was like 2 a.m. when I had an epiphany that I actually started enjoying Suicide Squad. I tweeted, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble here, but I'm starting to like Suicide
Wait, is it
Squad.
because you liked it, or is it because you were on the verge of breaking down from lack of sleep?
I think it was more of a guilty pleasure shift to where, I can acknowledge that it's not, a benchmark in the history of cinema, but I can just sit back, have my monster and my Doritos, and enjoy myself while I'm watching it.
Okay.
That old chestnut.
That old chestnut. Like we said, there are no wrong answers. Just so you guys know, tomorrow we are going to do a similar list with we're getting the similar treatment to the Star Wars films. It's going to be the 11 main Star Wars films. I don't believe we are going to have television involved. It's just going to be episode 1 through 9, Solo, and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So we can't wait to share those lists. Spoiler alert, all S's.
I'm sure this will have no conflict in the comments whatsoever tomorrow.
I put all of them in order in S's, and I'm like, S for Star Wars. Star Wars is great. Even bad Star Wars is better than anything else. So I will have to definitely rethink that. But once again, go to bluefinbrands.com where we have all of our exclusives. Hey, look, there's a bug bite.
Yeah, bug bite, woo!
Get some deet.
Get some deet. Make sure you pick up Bug Bite. He's an amazing flame model kit. Bug Bite is a former GoBot who is now a Transformer and a fun little Decepticon. He's only $37. We have a Netflix show. And it's going to be the Netflix show. You see right there. You see the Mandalorian exclusive. That's on P Bandai. Storm's got a quadrilogy of great exclusives with Motaro. And as always, we always have amazing Venom exclusives. The Memorial Kit, the Clear RX-78 Beyond Global. So much good stuff. Make sure to go to bluefinbrands.com. While you're there, enter our contest, bluefinbrands.com/contest, where we're giving away over $5,000 in product. Can't wait for you guys all to see what we send your way. And make sure to follow us at Bluefin Brands. And until next time, we'll see you tomorrow for ranking of the Star Wars films. Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.